Hey, Mark Rodriguez here, and with me is...
Joopy Chan, also known as Joopy, or you can call me Wendy. Hey guys!
Yep, and today you're watching the review Sanctum, where everything and anything may be reviewed.
And today we're reviewing The Heretic, starring Hugh Grant and the other two girls whose names I just forgot. I'm sorry.
Yes. So, yeah, interesting premise there. I'll let Wendy explain the majority of it, but it basically starts out where we got these missionary girls, which are Sister Paxton and Sister Burns, and they're doing their thing, you know, going to different houses and stuff like that to see who they can convert to their Book of Mormon and all that.
The Christians of Latter-day Saints.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they go to Mr. Reed's house, and I guess you can kind of tell them, you know, explain. Oh, and by the way, lots of spoilers, guys, because this movie is just so hard to get into, because it really is one of those one thing leads to another kind of movies, so it's kind of hard to like find a stopping point somewhere. So be warned, lots of spoilers. And yes, the movie, this was the opening weekend for this movie, right? Yes, the opening weekend. So we'll try our best, but there will be lots of spoilers because, again, it's just it's one of those movies.
It's spoilers, sorry. Anyway.
Yeah.
So the two girls they had a list of houses they were going to go to anyway for people that are interested in their church. And, you know, the whole thing. So they ended up at Mr. Reed's house, as Mark mentioned. And for the most part, I think the movie itself is trying to get people to, like, question religion and why people fully get into it. And Hugh Grant was pretty much playing mind games with the two girls to try to get them to realize that or come to their own conclusions. You know, things like that, you know, like a bunch of little things. So it's like he was setting them up from the beginning. Like, for example, he invited them in, but, you know, because they're Mormons, you know, you're not allowed to, you know, be in the presence of a man without, you know, another woman there. And he said, oh, but my wife, she's baking a blueberry pie. Let me go check with her. Oh, she's a little shy. But here's the thing. When they first came into the house, he told them that the walls and the ceilings had metal bars in them. And the first thing I was thinking, I'm pretty sure Mark was too, well, there goes your cell phone signal.
Yeah.
Right? And here's the other thing. He brought drinks out for them. Now, that threw me. It didn't throw me, but I was saying, well, obviously he doesn't have a wife because he only brought 3 drinks.
Oh, instead of 4. Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that because the other thing on there was a candle and it was a blueberry scent. He said his wife was making blueberry pie, but it was really the scent from the candle. And the girls realized that. So for the most part, they're trying to get out of this house, but he's using a lot of metaphors and all sorts of things and history in some ways to try to let them figure things out.
Yes, because the front door is like locked, like has timed locks or whatever, so they can't just use the front door. They got to choose these other 2 doors that are these kind of weird and creepy and stuff like that. And yeah, so Hugh Grant was quite a character in the movie.
I loved him.
Lots of grandiose like dialogues and stuff. He was really, like they say, chewing the scenery.
Yeah, and the thing is, even though Hugh Grant is much older now, he's still charming. I loved it.
Yeah, and yeah, so the house is kind of like a maze. And one of the parts is during his speeches of like where religion and different sects of religion came from and whatnot.
Yeah, and how he was pointing out how the oldest religion, which is true, is Judaism, right? Mm-hmm. And how Christianity was after that, and then, you know, all the other types of sects and all the sects of religions and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And how pretty much all of our different religions kind of have, you know, similar stories and, you know, mythos and things like that. So his thing is, which one is the one true religion if all these different, you know, people, all these different countries and people, they have all these different versions, you know?
Yeah. So during all that, he marked one door as belief and the other door as disbelief. and he was basically having them, I guess, choose which door to go out from and stuff like that.
Yeah, based
in order to
on-
leave the house.
Yeah, based on if you still he have a belief in God after all the stuff he was talking about, or you maybe have a disbelief in there being a higher being or a God, and go to the other side.
Yeah.
So the one that I said has more life experience, that one.
With the short hair?
Yeah.
Paxton.
Paxton. So she chose belief because she said, well, I still believe in God and all that other stuff. But the other girl, she wanted to go to disbelief because she said, he pretty much proved his point. Let's go to the disbelief door. Maybe that'll lead us out.
I do want to mention that the movie has the strangest way to open, because it's the two missionary girls sitting on a bench with Burns talking about, shall we say, adult films that she's seen, while Paxton is just like, what are you talking about there, girl? And so how often do you see these movies and all that kind of stuff? So that was kind of like the weird, like we're not going to repeat that, but even the first line of dialogue for the whole movie was about certain things that are involved with certain things and the size of certain things, if you get my drift. So I'm like, wow, that's a way to start the movie. But anyway.
Yeah, with two little religious girls, I mean.
Yeah.
And one thing you tell between the two with their personality, she seemed kind of blasé about that conversation, but then you have what's-her-face, was it the longer-haired one?
Yeah.
She came across as being
Burns.
definitely the more innocent of the two. Because the other one said like she may have had life experience, not necessarily with that, but just in general with the way she speaks and the way she comes across. Then you got the other one that seems very,
Yeah. More old-fashioned, I guess.
Yeah, old-fashioned.
Paxton came off as, or at least appearance-wise, she came off a bit more modern, while the other one was a bit more,
like the girl next door type.
Yeah, and the other one was dressed like just way more classier, like she's full. That's what I was thinking, the way, because they also got into a bit of the backstory. Burns looks like she was just completely raised in Mormonism. That's that a word?
Yeah.
And Paxton was born in some other religion, whatever, but eventually got into becoming a Mormon.
Because of her mother, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, they go through one of the doors, and it just, it goes to these weird underground places.
The basement.
Yeah, and everything's with dripping water and stuff, and there's, I don't want to spoil too much, but there's more places and more just darker tunnels.
And the thing is, there's just practically not much of a way out because, as mentioned, it's like a maze. Everything kind of loops.
Yeah.
So sort of like you end up in one part, you might end up right back in that same area. You just got to figure a way out to get to back to that front door if you can find it.
Yeah. And another thing, let me see, the thing I was going to get into is like, what the hell is Mr. Reed? What the hell is his fucking motivation for all this? He just, I guess he's just a bored guy that's got nothing better to do than to invite guests over and, I don't know, watch them squirm and study them.
He's studying them and see how far their beliefs will go. Because he's a he studied theology.
Yeah.
So, he has, so much knowledge about all sorts of religions and things like that. And it's like he comes across as a teacher that's really trying to teach you some type of a lesson.
Yeah.
And it's trying to make it more practical so you can really get the message of the lesson.
Yeah.
Except he's going a bit too far with this.
Yeah, and you'll see later on in the movie that lesson costs a lot of people their lives or the way they live and stuff like that. You kind of get a hint of what happens to previous guests and stuff like that. And, like I said, I don't know. The only thing that he gives his backstory is that he did study a lot of religions and different types, and he kept trying to find, which of all of these is the one true religion. And I guess maybe because of that, maybe he got kind of crazy and
I guess
teach
it's
this to everyone else.
And want everyone else to come to the same conclusion that maybe he did.
But through extreme means.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Oh my goodness.
But seeing as how, one of them figured out what his view was of one true religion, what would he do with her,
Yeah, I don't.
It wouldn't make sense to, I don't know.
Because the thing is, that person the person that found out stuff, they saw too much, so I don't know how he would have just like let him go.
Well, of course that wasn't going to happen, but
yeah,
it wouldn't have fully worked because, like you said, she figured the stuff out. She got the conclusion. It's like she figured out the answer to his riddle.
yeah. But then after that, it's like, I don't think it's going to be like, oh, you know, you can go now. I don't think so. And after...
Not after what happened earlier in that movie in
God.
which she had everything that she came across.
Oh, God, yeah. So, yeah, so it's a very emotional thriller. One thing that's interesting is for at least the first half of the movie, technically speaking, he didn't do anything, so to speak. He's just there watching and the doors and just making all his little speeches and monologues and stuff like that.
And I guess just observing them.
Yeah, but the movie really does, you know, because obviously the first time you watch it, you don't know what to expect. It really likes to like get in there on like, you know, what's gonna happen. They build a suspense. I mean, even just them trying to open one of the doors, there's a lot of suspense. That, oh shit, you know, open the door. What's on the other side? Oh my god! You know, like the movie really gets a lot of the...
I love the atmosphere of the movie. I really did enjoy it. And like I said, I prefer a psychological thriller over something with a bunch of slashing anyway. So
and
it really made you think.
The place gets dark. You hear all these little sounds of all this mechanisms.
Like, and even with that, even with the way the doors opened and creaked, and when they were walking on the floor, I loved all of that.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's just creepy ambiance to it that gets you on the edge of your seat because you just don't know what's going to happen with this door, with that door, with whatever, you know. And then the girls are slowly figuring out little clues and details. It goes back to the movie, you know, stuff like that. And yeah, just interesting movie. It makes you curious about like what's going to happen next or what leads to this or that or you know, how are they going to get out and what the hell is this guy... You know, what's his plan, you know, or his motivation to...
And what does he do with people when they do figure out what he's trying to teach them?
Yeah. And that's the thing.
Yeah, so, yeah, I mean, if you like the type of movies that have you, like, always kind of thinking or trying to figure stuff out, I would recommend this. Downside for me, though, you know, for me, I wanted some kind of conclusion, but... I think it's kind of obvious what happened, but then maybe it could be interpreted in a different way.
Yeah.
So you never know. Like maybe saved or I don't know.
We'll have to see what happens there, but yeah, it's a pretty good movie, and I also like that it's a very simple movie, very like lots of what do you call practical effects. Thank you. No real like special effects needed for this one. And
even the camera angles and stuff that they use were nice. Yeah, like the panning of like on the floor with the rug and all that.
I like the part that was in a trailer too. The panning effect from the girl's perspective, which was like I guess upside down. It kind of films around like that.
That kind of really. Fully emphasize that the whole place is kind of looped. Yeah.
And then, so other than a couple of bystanders you see in the end of the movie when they're walking around town or whatever, and the pastor, one of their pastor guys, which is played by Topher Grace.
And we didn't recognize him until we saw the names. Like, wait a minute, Topher Grace? What?
Yeah, and he's like, you know, asking people, have you seen these girls and stuff like that? Because he eventually notices that, you know, they're missing, they haven't come back, whatever. But other than that, most of the movie is just Hugh Grant and the two girls and everything, so it is a very like self-contained movie, and everything's all cool practical effects and everything. So they're gonna probably hit it big.
And Hugh Grant, one thing about Hugh Grant's character, he was trying to prove a miracle, because you know the story like with Jesus and other deities or from other religions. You know, you might have like someone that died and they were resurrected. So yeah.
He's trying to prove miracles, all right. But high costs. But anyways, guys, I think that's the most we could say about this one. But it's a pretty good movie. It's a very good, like, suspenseful kind of thriller type movie because you just don't know what's gonna happen next and what leads to what and like what's going on as it keeps going. So you're kind of drawn just watching it to see what's gonna happen and how they're gonna get out of that situation.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I highly recommend this. If you want to see Hugh Grant, Hugh Grant was great in this movie in my opinion. So Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people say it's one of his best performances, you know, obviously of modern movies.
Yeah, because it's just so cool. Like, he could be like, have the serious talk and, you know, speaking seriously, but he might make a funny quip or something, but it goes so natural with the dialogue. He brought up Jar Jar Binks. He made his comment about Jar Jar Binks work.
Oh, goodness. Yep. I know. Oh, man. So anyways, guys, yes, that's the most we can say without spoiling too much, but definitely check it out. If you like, I guess, psychological, suspenseful type thrillers and everything, definitely give it a look.
Yep.
Yep. So, yeah, wraps up this review here. This is Mark Rodriguez signing off.
And this is Wendy. See you guys later for the next movie.
Oh, yeah.
And I think this next movie is going to involve someone with a lot of muscles.
Oh, God. Yep. Yeah, looks like we'll be going to the movies quite a bit here. So these 2 more movies you're going to check out unless something else comes up
out in
last
between.
minute. Yeah. So, see you then.
Bye.